Hello, this is my first video for my WordPress blog AI for English majors. And it's exactly that. It's artificial intelligence for people who majored in English, but it's also for people who majored in art or history or anything like that, anything that's non-programming. This is not appropriate for people who already know how to write code. This is for people who love AI, would love to be AI designers, but can't write code to save their life. So I'm going to talk about the Create a ChatGPT app through OpenAI. I've just had a successful run, and I was going to show you guys how I made it. But then at the last minute, I hit an error message. And now when I try to launch it, it's a dead end. So based on the title of this video, you'll see that this video went one of two ways. It either showed how to make a GTP successfully, or it shows how it doesn't work at the last second. So we'll just see, and I'll title this video appropriately at the end of it. But anyway, this is my old one. It's called What's Wrong? This is a self-help app that I'm making. It's a friendly guide for coping with problems that are upsetting you. And when we click Edit GTP, we get this blank screen. So I'm going to start from scratch and show you what I got to. And it's also going to save a little time because by doing this, it gives you some writing that you can use. So I'll explain that in a second. Okay, so so first of all, you have to have ChatGPT 4, the paid version, ChatGPT Plus. So that's the bad news. And it took me 2 weeks to get it, but I finally got it. And I'm making this video after working with the technology for about 4 hours total, which is the quickest I've ever adopted a piece of technology and made a video about it. Okay, so on the left side, you just talk to the system, and on the right side, you can preview it. When you create, you are, just talking to it here and speaking in natural language. And when you do configure, you're more typing it into the fields. But what you'll see is that as we do stuff here, it configures things here. So in that spirit, let's read what it says. I'll help you build a new GTP. What would you like to make? And I'm going to pause a little so you don't have to watch me type, but a self-help app that works you through your problems. And then I'll explain to you guys a little bit what my app does and show you some of the directions that I wrote together with ChatGPT, because not only did I write the directions without writing code, I had ChatGPT rewrite my directions in the brilliant way that artificial intelligence can make things very clearer than I can as a human. Okay, how about we name this guiding light? For the practical purposes, I'll just call it that, just so we just don't have two files with the same name, but I called mine What's Wrong. So I'll say fine. And now watch, it builds it on the other window. And it gives you a profile picture that you can change just like you can with generative AI. And that's how I got my question mark here. It wasn't the first thing it offered me, but when I talked to it for a while, this is what we sort of came up with together. Okay, so one thing that I had working in my app is that I didn't like the fact that it had 4 boxes. I wanted to say just have one box that says what's wrong. So I'll show you how to change that. So again, without writing any code, we just go in here and say, okay, here's this. I'd like to see any changes. Looks good. It's not what I said in real life, but we'll just say it now. And it looks pretty. Okay. What kind of tone should it use in its responses? So I'll type this all in. It's just supposed to be friendly and conversational. And then, okay, so instead of 4 boxes with questions, I just want one box that says, and you can have typos. Let's not even fix the typo because AI understands what you're talking about and it doesn't care if you have a typo, unlike code. I just want one box that says what's wrong. So let's see if this works. Okay, so there, so it fixed it. So now it just says what's wrong, and that's what I want. And that's basically like the whole demo, because after that, I just sat there typing things in, saying how I wanted it to go back and forth a little bit, volley back and forth, and then start solving their problem a little, and then offering them a few paragraphs that I wrote about this type of therapy modality called ACT. And anyways, so what I did with ChatGPT, so here you can see it's filling in the instructions. And now I will type in the instructions that I did from my rough draft and I copied this before it crashed. So I'll just take it from the notepad. I'm glad I copied it to the notepad before it crashed because I couldn't get that back now. And let's see what it does. Okay, what's wrong? So my sample question is, Okay, so this is working as it's supposed to. So let's go back to the instructions and I'll review what it's supposed to be doing. So what's wrong begins by engaging in a conversational exchange, going back and forth a maximum of 2 times to understand the user's issue. Then it's supposed to give me a 100-word therapy-like response based on ACT principles. So let's type in one more response and hope that it does what we want it to do next. Okay, so it's saying, and you can't like fudge it and say yada, yada, yada. So one thing that takes a long time is testing, and you have to keep typing this in over and over. What kind of jobs are you applying for? What challenges are you facing? Having a hard time getting a second interview. Now, people are supposed to be writing longer things in real life, but I'm just doing the fast version for testing. Okay, well, it's supposed to go back and forth 2 times and then give me different things. So if you're comfortable, could you share more how you feel during these interviews? I feel fine. Okay. Now, if it's following the directions, it's supposed to give me a 100-word therapist-like response based on ACT principles, and it's not. So what do? So focus on what you can control. So showcasing your skills and experiences. Okay, that's not right. So then it does get right. Did you find that answer helpful? Why or why not? So now we go back to this and say, this isn't working quite right. Now I numbered mine just so I can say like what number you do not do. So I'll cut and paste. Per the instructions. And you don't have to worry about like, you don't want to be a jerk, but like you don't have to be nice about it and say please or thank you either. Okay, so then we try it again. Okay, so this is where it does what I tell it to do, which is suggest ACT. It didn't really give me a 100-word therapist response, but we can kind of go back and work on that a little bit more. But okay, so then what I wanted to do at one point in the directions is, so it says, do you find that answer helpful? It suggests writing exercises to improve core issues. It's not doing that either. Matches the problem with the most suitable of the 6 core processes in ACT. And then it's supposed to reference verbatim from the knowledge file uploaded by user. And so I didn't do that yet. So I need to do that. So that is part 1. You're ready to dive deeper and get to the core of the problem. And then I wanted to say literally this. And it's a little bit of a struggle. It paraphrases it a little bit, but I got it to basically put this here and then give this language, because I think this page is particularly helpful. And this is where, as an English major, being able to write is important. Okay, so let's go back to it. And let's upload that file. Chapter 1, Part 1. Okay, so now it's doing the suggestion. It did the 100-word therapist thing. It sounds like employment is important to you, not just for financial stability, blah, blah, blah. Is that answer helpful? Why or why not? Sure. Let's keep going. Okay, there. So now it's working. Great. Let's delve a little deeper. And this is the writing exercise that it suggests here. Reflect on your job experience, consider these prompts, and then some things to write about. Okay. And then they do it and you go from there. But what it is hopefully going by is going by this and following these directions. So as you can see, this is a new product. This just came out a couple months ago. It's buggy. And let's see if we save it and let's see if it works. Not saving. One time it didn't save because I didn't put in the name of it here. And so I saved it, and then I could send it to a friend and just send them the link, and then they can try it. So that's not the full version of my app, but that's as far as I've gotten with it. And it's glitchy, but it's very promising. And for those of us who don't write code, it is the future. All right. Thank you for watching.